we got to get something better than this countdown, man. Do I need to produce like an intro beat?
I mean, if you feel so inclined,
all right, man. Because
I was about to say before we even get into it, 30 seconds all the same. But before we even get into intros, if you're watching right now, which no one isn't, but if you're watching right now, watch on Twitch. So just gonna put that out there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot we were live. I need a shirt, don't I? Let me get a shirt.
Let me pull that up.
I'm listening though.
While D is getting a shirt, I'd like to remind y'all, much like Montrose giving his speech last night in the alley, we're here for the boys.
It's the last time you can say that for a while.
The last time.
I'll find a way.
He'll find a way. That's right, because we got one more episode of Lovecraft next week.
What I have to do is I'll have to hold them till the next season of the boys. Assuming the Cheeto in Chief doesn't win again, and we're not all locked up for spewing our hatred for him over the last 4 years.
Yeah, this is I gotta be one of the first to hide. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. No.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. Don't be shocked when you realize that a few episodes of our previous podcasts are now private on YouTube. So yeah, just tossing that out there.
Like I said, I definitely ain't.
And I'm censored out of all of the political ones.
I'm not my page will not be off private anytime soon. Not after the Doug Jones interview.
Yeah.
That's why I told them not to put my Twitter on at all.
Yeah.
I was like, my Twitter's not about to be on here right now.
You see, I'm rolling with HR paper stacks for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, my name is Ron, but anybody could do your name Ron, so that doesn't matter. But we got the full crew here. We have Courtney.
My name Rod.
What's up, Courtney? Oh,
yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm not as sneezy today because I'm on a lot of Claritin and Dayquil. I'm on a lot of things. I don't know whether I'm sick or I'm hungover. I'll figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to buy some more.
That's where I'm at. Oh, I forgot my mom's watching. Whoops. I'm fine, Mom.
Hey, Quartz mom.
She watches these shows, even though she doesn't watch these shows. She watches these, so she has no context. She has no context.
She's supporting us.
Mm-hmm, she is.
And D, how's it going over there?
Hey y'all, I'm good. I'm doing just.
Oh,
fine.
what's that? Hold on. What was that?
Hold it up again.
Is that?
Oh, this.
Is that?
Yeah, see, I'm drinking out of a red cup. I'm poor over here. I need one of those.
This isn't even my cup. This is my boyfriend's cup from college.
HR Paper Stacks, how's it going?
I'm here, man.
Yeah, that's all we can ask for.
Right. Oh, by the way, AJ, those hats that have the push on light right in the middle of the head are only $6 right now on Amazon. That's all.
I gotta get one that has KWC stitching on it.
I feel like we gotta all get one and just click it
I
on.
need the KW. You know the little woven caps that Music Soul Child and Common used to rock back in the. I need one of those.
But you need the light
and the crochet.
The crochet joint, so I can truly be out here talking about propagation.
Well, whenever we say propagate, we all just push the button.
Nah, see, Courtney, I don't know if you remember those hats, but those were the super woke black dudes.
I know what you're talking about.
My sister and they referred to God as a higher power and used to say all praises due and shit like that. Those cats.
And one.
You get KWC
and one. And I need a KWC shirt that just says one.
No,
in quotation marks, one. Like Chicago Bulls one.
No, you don't.
But let's finally get into the boys.
We're here for the boys. That's what we
AJ. So how we feel?
You didn't hear me the first time I said
I heard it. I heard the first time.
So how we feeling about the finale, y'all? Let's start recording.
I really liked the finale. Excellent, really well done. Multiple really shocking things. Really well done. Didn't really predict. I think we all were kind of wrong in a lot of ways, and maybe right in a couple. But that kind of reminded me of how much I liked the first season. They picked up.
Court, I'm gonna say we wasn't wrong. We was right. we just was wrong. We
were close.
We were right about what we thought was going to happen. We were just wrong about how it happened.
About the ways it was going to happen. Right,
which, if you've listened to me and Ronnie going back to our speculation leading into Endgame, that was a lot of how it was. Like, we got the basics right, but like the mechanics of it and the how we didn't quite get. So yeah, I liked it. It was good. I was definitely shocked at the ending. Although after what Court said last week about who that is supposed to be, and then when I went back and actually read, I was like, "Oh, this makes perfect sense."
Mm-hmm.
I said it, and I didn't even predict it. I don't even understand.
Yeah, because I whenever I've read up on him, I always blow past like his little blurb on the page, and then I was like, "Oh."
But the change makes sense because I read like he's supposed to be based off George Bush, who's like a bumbling idiot. So, but this one is basically, great value AOC, which is not a bumbling idiot. I love how everyone everywhere just refers to her as AOC, not as Newman. That to me is hilarious.
AOC. But yeah, I like that. I like where the characters ended. Again, some stuff we predicted came true. Some stuff that we predicted didn't come true. But I think that this was as well. They landed this thing as well as they could have landed it with the stuff that they put out there. Like, I did not know how they were going to bring this thing in, and they actually managed to do so in a way that even a cynic like me is like,
I still think this show was shot to be binged. I still think that, like, you can tell the way it was shot, was filmed. It was filmed in a way it was meant to be consumed by binging.
What in the world is that?
So D's blanket. What are you feeling about? How are you feeling about the finale?
The blanket loved the finale. AJ, that is an aerosol can that tries to get into every episode that we shoot, and I refuse.
No free sponsor.
No free promo.
No free shout out. None. Going up. I liked it a lot, and it made me even more so agree with you, AJ, because if we were able to binge it, it would have felt much better than watching it in chunks. Because, like Courtney said before, it like reminds you how the first season was so good because it had these surprises, I guess, in ways, but they came fairly quickly. And this is almost like, what are y'all doing? Like, what is happening? And then if you can just watch it all at one time, you see what's going to happen. But, it's almost a situation where if you watch a sitcom normally that shoots every week, it's almost like those writers know how to give you enough to last the next episode, and unless you know that something else is coming. But you can tell the boys, it's almost like, I don't know if you said this before, but it seems like it was written to be binged, like one long movie even. And it's just like they were just like at the last minute, it was like, let's just and it didn't work.
I had to rewatch some episodes to be reminded of some things, like even like a week difference, like some details I feel got lost. Because it wasn't made to be spaced out like that, and you can tell it wasn't.
I don't think it was either.
But yeah, I love finale, especially. Okay, so I will say I love when you're going through a show and it may not feel like you know where it's going, but by the time you reach the end, there's a payoff. Because there were a lot of times this season where we were like, man, I don't know what the boys are doing, but pretty much everything they set up, there was a payoff for it, and that's good writing. And the way
that Dewey died.
Well,
that was never set up, but it was on my wish list. I'm sorry.
Hey man, but yeah. So because I seriously thought after season 1 they wrote themselves into a corner, but they went further in that direction, but then they corrected the problem, and that's just good writing. So, and the way they set it up for future seasons, because we also wonder like, hey man, how much longer can this show go? But they really set it up to now I can see this show having like 2 more seasons of like quality. So yeah, I'm really liking the finale. I think it was pretty smart for a show that's about superheroes, and not to say that pejoratively, but yeah, I'm liking it.
So did everyone understand after I said, well, y'all remember when I went to group me and I said literally 6 minutes in and I want Huey to die?
I understand.
That moment where they're like putting together all the weapons, we can't just go killing people.
I was like, bro.
Even
Kamiko was like, "No, we got to go to war."
I feel like Starlight's character development is where Huey should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like that's exactly where he should be.
I'm okay with this shit now. Like he's just running around, and I loved Maeve putting him in his place. Like get your punk ass out of here. This is not how this shit works. Like you take your stupid ass out somewhere.
And that solidified Mother's Milk still being my favorite character because even he, like as much patience as he has with Huey, he was like, bruh, enough. Like nobody's listening to you this time. This is what we're doing, and this is what we have to do. And like y'all said, that's Huey should be there by now. Like I don't know what it's gonna take for him
with everything that's at stake.
Translucent, right?
With everything that's at stake, it's just like now you're just being stupid.
Not even stupid. You're being pretentious. Like you're acting more holier than thou than the rest of these people. And it's like it'd be one thing if he hadn't killed somebody, but you've literally killed somebody. You can't be walking around. Well, we can't just run off killing. Yes, we can. Shut the fuck up.
That's how a lot of white liberals act on the timeline as well. But I mean,
that's why I had to back up because like I said, I was defending him, and then the more we talked about, I'm like, but still, he has killed Translucent. So if he had been this squeaky clean, no matter what, like I guess Superman almost. Do no harm by any means, then yes. But you literally shot somebody. You like made him explode from a bomb stuck up his butt.
And even Superman, like as boring as his character is, Superman's willing to do what it takes to stop stuff from happening. Like Huey ain't even willing to do that. Huey has to go about this the high road way.
And that's the thing.
The Democratic Party.
He tried it. They did try the high road way, but it was like when everyone's heads blew up, which we'll get to that later. It was shown that they can't do it that way, and at that point, it's like, okay, we did try it, but we have to get violent.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, people's heads started blowing up.
I'm glad you said that
because they did try it.
Because Huey
is fucked up one of their contingencies too.
Exactly. Yeah. Huey is willing to let people die to not get his hands dirty, and that is the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is willing to let people die, suffer all sorts of shit, as long as they can maintain they went low and we went high.
Now I'm convinced I'm convinced they're doing that with him on purpose now. Because now that I think about it, like it's like so similar to the Democratic Party right now and how a lot of what liberals act about it. Like it's too on the nose to be an accident.
Or maybe they just don't realize how fucking annoying that is. Like maybe it's something with Jack Quaid being like a rising star, and they're just like, you know what? And I try to give Seth Rogen more credit than that, but maybe they don't understand how annoying it. Because even in the comics, he's not like this. Like he eventually starts willing to get his hands dirty. He still tries to stay above it all and not do like below board shit, but he's willing to get his hands dirty. And this dude is just like, no, I'm not willing to do any of that. I have to like the scene where Mother's Milk like is handing him a gun. That was so funny to me because you could tell he like, yo punk ass here. Or was it Frenchie? One of them, whatever scene where they kind of hesitated, like
the whole stand on my own 2 feet shit got on my nerves too. Because even like that to me, like that's not even like you being strong and independent. It's just you still just being really annoying about it. Like,
yeah, because he admitted that he basically has like dependency problems, and he was just latching on to the boys because he had nothing else. So at least his character knows that much.
I just wish he'd get a therapist. Again, I think this is like my recurring thing. If I had to choose, like besides Butcher and Homelander, obviously, I think Huey's one of the main people that actually needs a therapist.
Huey needs to die. He needs a coroner. That's what he needs. He needs a coroner. He needs somebody determining his cause of death. That is the kind of doctor that Huey needs. Someone that can determine his death. I need him dead.
Stop trying to kill Huey. I think you're right about the writing part, though, because if he had been what I was saying before, like there needs to be an absolute good since there's an absolute bad. But you're right. The fact that he's killed somebody pokes a hole in that theory. So he can't be an absolute good. So making him like at this point, like y'all saying, he's just annoying. Because when you choose to be bad, choose when it's somebody's life that's in danger, or more like the whole world is at risk. But you're just like, well, no, this doesn't suit me. at the time, and it just makes him selfish and annoying.
Very
AKA,
selfish. That's something. It's like he's extremely selfish.
AKA,
yeah, I think that's what it is more than anything, because like you latched yourself onto this team, you're in this war, but
mercenaries.
But at the same time, you're like, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't take it there. Like what's your purpose?
Or
like, why
even
are you even here?
or even going back to calling Starlight while they were on the boat.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Like that is super duper selfish of you to do. You're putting her, and they even said it to him, dude, you keep putting her life at risk. You have to stop this shit. Like you can't keep on. And then her life does get at risk, and he almost jeopardizes their case to run and save her again when he's the one who put her in that position, essentially, to begin with, by dragging her into this mess. And it's like that. I just wish someone on the show would call him out for it. Like that is what I need. Like I need someone on the show. Like Maeve gave him a nice read, but I need somebody else to be like, look here, you sniveling little bitch, stop. You are selfish. You're not as good as you think you are. Get over yourself. That's what I want to happen. If we can't kill him, which obviously we can't. Somebody tell him about himself.
Stop trying to kill him. They're not going to kill him.
It's on my ultimate. He is the most annoying protagonist of any series I think I've ever watched. And that's it. I hate
know
Aang.
You want him dead. They're just not going to.
I hate Aang. Like Aang is one of the worst. He's worse than Aang to me. Yes, D. I cannot stand Aang from Avatar. I despise him. The world is at stake, and you go run off to some turtle island because you don't want to kill the Fire Lord who's about to enslave or kill the entire planet because you a pacifist monk. So punk ass out of there and go fight.
But he's a pacifist monk, though. Like that is his nature.
Okay, you're a pacifist monk. If your pacifism is the world can die so that I don't get my hands dirty, you are no better than the people who are doing the killing. If you have the power to stop and you don't want to because of your upbringing and your beliefs, or because he's a 12-year-old kid, then take your punk ass on. Go refreeze yourself again. The world don't need you.
He's 12.
Man, if you had gave me this decision when I was 12, I'd have did it no problem.
We talking about you, right?
Hey man, I was not a violent child when I was 12. Ask my brother. Ask my brother.
I was.
Ask my brother.
I believe you.
I'll give y'all a story once. I got into a fight. My brother was in middle school. Me and my sister were in elementary school. Our elementary school was year round, so we had 3 weeks off between quarters. One of the times we were off, I got into a fight. I beat the dude up. My brother came home and went and beat the dude up again. And he was like, "I'm gonna fight him or I'm gonna fight you. You take your pick." Not that I can see.
But yeah, like I said, the only thing I could see with them doing Huey is like making it like that on purpose to kind of like represent liberalism. Otherwise, I don't know what they're doing. It's really annoying and I hate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, either it's
it might just be annoying,
or it's just a major oversight. I'm leaning towards like oversight, like they don't realize how annoying he is, and I think they really need to correct this character because, like we said, going back from season 1. They set a foundation for how this character could be. Like he does something bad, but he struggles with it internally. And he's trying not to go all the way to the bad side, but he knows he has to keep doing this because he's in the middle of this war. Like there's a way to make Huey an interesting character, but this isn't it.
What they should be doing with Huey, they're doing with Starlight. Which I'm fine with her. I'm fine with her getting that kind of character development. I'm glad a woman's getting that kind of character development because that is one thing that's different than the comics. I'll give them is that they're actually fleshing out female characters, which is great. But I don't. If they can do it with Starlight, they can do it with Huey the same.
Yeah,
or maybe give us a parallel. Maybe give us a parallel.
Girls get it done.
And if you can't do it with Huey, kill him off and replace him with Starlight. I don't care.
I would be fine with that. Honestly, I really would be fine with that.
Much better if you kill off Huey and put Starlight in his place for the rest of the series.
Were you this annoyed with Huey last season?
No.
Okay, maybe they'll make the corrections then. Like maybe they didn't understand how annoying he was, and like now you're kind of the test audience, so they'll correct it next season. Maybe. I'm just saying, maybe.
I'm hoping
because it seems like they made him worse this season, and now that they'll hear the complaints, maybe they'll hear the complaints and be like, okay, we need to dial it back.
I feel like they were trying to create this parallel between him and Butcher's brother, and it just fell flat. Because we didn't know about him beforehand. So you already come out the gate trying to hit us in the face with the canary in the coal mine shit. and I hope I never hear that phrase again.
Why do I hate it so much? Because they were literally in a coal mine.
Yes,
they were literally in a coal mine.
And they just wouldn't stop saying it.
They kept saying it. Like,
but it's the show,
it's like
though.
It's nailing it in the head. But the thing is, this show this show has shown that they don't have to hit you over the head with stuff. Right. And that's my thing without like the absolute good and stuff. Like this show has shown that like this is more of a gray area people type show. So you can't, when you're showing that there's like moral grayness, you can't have like an absolute, and you can't have like hitting you over the head with a point when you show that you're better than that.
The fact that they literally said canary in the coal mine like 3 times in 3 separate episodes.
I'm surprised there wasn't an actual canary.
Like, guys,
it feels like they did it on purpose. And maybe I'm wanting more. Yeah, I just want it to be that way because it is, like I said, so on the nose. But it feels like they are annoying you two on purpose.
Possibly.
I hope they say it like repeatedly next season.
I'm just, you know what? If it's a trade in for like actually,
I hope they say pastiche next season.
Yeah, I'm fine with them doing.
I'm fine with them doing that to Huey if that means like the female characters get more fleshed out development. That's fine with me because I think that they're giving that whole arc to Starlight.
They are.
She's way more interesting than he is.
Mm-hmm. So much more interesting.
I like her, but
so much more interesting. So we haven't touched on any of the plot points of the show.
There's a lot in this finale.
Yeah, there's a lot.
How long was it? Because it felt like there was a lot.
It was like an hour and 9 minutes. I think.
Yeah, they packed in a lot, but it was good in a good way.
Yeah, so. Yes. I mean, the A-Train stuff was good, but not overblown. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the Deep's humiliation yet again. Like I said,
Prescott had me in tears.
I totally knew. I was like, they are not going to redeem.
They're not going.
I have felt that, and he's going to continue. To me, I think he's going to continue to just be a.
Here's my thing. I would love that. I would genuinely be angry if they redeemed him. Like that's the thing.
There's no redemption for
you. Can't have like a whole Me Too moment with a character. Like if you're going to be like a more, I guess, woke show, you can't have a Me Too moment and then redeem the same character.
Yeah, that's why I think they're not doing that. Like I think the whole point of this season was to make you feel like that was going to happen, and then drop the hammer on his head. Like, sorry, still not redeemable, guys.
If anything with the deep, I feel like they're doing like this is like true like cancel culture, and not like how people say, "Oh, you're canceled." Like the deep is really canceled, like from every facet of his life.
Look, when he was like I signed my bank account over to you guys. I was like, damn.
Like I laughed aloud when he was like, yes, I'm back in. I'm like,
idiot. He's such an idiot. It's hilarious. No, I knew once Annie's back in, there's no way that he could be in at the same time as Annie.
Right.
There's no way.
There's no way.
It's also hilarious how A-Train just like flat out was still like, yes, I'm back in. Fuck you.
Bye, A-Train.
He did him so dirty a few minutes earlier. Like A-Train, I can't believe you. I don't roll with him. Like to sold him out, and then the dude was like, no. He's good. You're not.
I know and then, like I said, I think Chase Crawford is so good because I don't think it's that easy to play a character that stupid. I really don't, because like I've seen Chase Crawford in other roles and that's not him.
No, that's
so
not him
it just
at all.
like to me like the moment I was like, this is like hilariously good like acting. It's like
I have to see him in something else.
Yeah, he's not like that at all. But it's just like the fuck Fresca moment was hilarious. Like that was like some Zoolander type shit. Like that was some Zoolander type shit. It was so because it's like the character is like so genuine in that moment, but it's hilariously stupid. Like to me, in my opinion, like comedic type acting like that is kind of underrated because it's really well done. It is. It's not hard. It's not easy, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, like to me, it feels like this was just a pulling of the rug from underneath him, and I liked it because they kept on making you think, oh, he's gonna be redeemed. He's gonna be redeemed.
And it's not A-Train. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, and A-Train's like, hey. We need to tweet Jesse T. Utcher from the blog account and ask him and tell him to get somebody to do better parts for season 3. That shit should not
ignore me.
Oh, you tweeted?
We gotta continue the whole campaign. We gotta put a hashtag to it.
Like, please, man, please.
Explain. A-Train explain. That's the
you can't be walking around like that, man. It's Nah, man, there's too many struggling hairlines out here, like myself, for you to be actively fucking up.
Is it like? Is it on purpose? Is it on purpose? I want to know.
And say hashtag A-Train explain.
Is it on purpose?
I feel like all the discussions about black hair and makeup people not being on sets. I feel like this is that. Like,
it is.
I think it's on purpose. I feel like it's on purpose.
No,
I feel like it's like the.
Really?
It's like the phrase where, like, if you mess up, keep it consistent. So I think he got the cut like that, but they had to keep it like that every episode because that's how they cut his hair.
Yeah, like I feel like he asked a white barber to give him a couple parts, and somebody fucked it up. Like, I once made the mistake of asking my dad's second wife, who was Mexican, to give me a fade, and she gave me a bowl cut.
Ooh,
and I learned a lesson that they don't ask non-black people to give you black shit, because that's a different thing for her. She was like, oh no, I went to cosmetology school, all that, I can cut hair. I went in the bathroom and I had to fucking
had the Bobby Hill.
I had the juvie fade below it.
You had like, the 12th century monk is what you had.
Yeah, I had to go bald. Like, I had to shave my whole shit bald and my head is the size it is now. So my nickname was Musclehead for the rest of the year.
I feel like that was not one time.
So I need to know why he allowed that to happen to himself.
I feel like if they fix it next season, they have to make a meta joke about it. You have to make a meta joke about it, or some kind of commentary about like the lack of black staff behind the scenes, especially when it comes to hair and makeup.
Yeah, and ask him, like, maybe your hair looks different. Like, oh yeah, we finally got a black barber at the tower.
Yeah, like that would be great. Yeah, that would be great.
Give us something subtle, like when they changed Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle and Robert Downey Jr. was like, you look a little different. Like, give us
something like that. It's perfect for the show.
Something subtle. But we're bouncing all over the place. But so the crux of the episode is essentially they are going to attack Stormfront and Homelander, basically. And they Huey goes Huey and decides no. Y'all heard that train in the background.
That's A-Train.
That's A-Train.
That's A-Train.
And they decide in the aftermath of the hearing, obviously, and they decide they're going to war. Huey's like, no, we can't go to war. He goes to Maeve. Maeve berates him, calls him a bunch of really messed up names that I'm not going to repeat. And
a twink. That's what she calls it.
Yeah. And then they driving around in A-Train. This is the funniest part of the episode is A-Train, like, sup shit birds.
That was hilarious.
I audibly laughed with that shit because he just pops in cars like, what's up shit birds? It's like, what?
That was hilarious.
Like, oh my god! Like, they were sitting there looking like Deborah Cox. Like, how did you get here?
So he's still got his powers. Like, he's fast. Like, we knew he was fast, but he's like fast in like the sneaky way. Like,
yeah, he was like, and they were like, yo, how did you find us? And he's like, yeah, relax. I've just been running around the city all damn day, which shows his heart condition is not really an issue anymore. He's recovering.
It's getting better. Yeah, I think that's important to know.
And he pops up with a file, hands it to Starlight and Huey, which satisfies Huey's little petty desire to not go to war and not kill people. And then they show back up, and basically, and then Becca shows up, and they hatch a plan to take Ryan away from Homelander and Stormfront, and some other stuff happens, but that's basically.
And we have like a whole like bit where like Homelander's like actually trying to be a father. Where it's like, again, like they show some kind of humanity to Homelander, because like he genuinely, like I think he genuinely like wants Ryan to have a different upbringing than him. Because like I felt very conflicted at the scene where like Ryan was overwhelmed with all the people, and like he actually had a dad moment.
Yeah, he saw that,
and I was like, he's teetering there. He's teetering there. Yeah.
They went to like some Vought Chuck E. Cheese type shit.
Yeah,
of course, people notice Homelander in Storefront. They show up around Ryan. Ryan gets extremely overwhelmed because he has heightened senses. All these people around him, he's probably never had that happen before. Obviously, he's been in a sterile lab environment, pretty much a fake home, Truman Show type shit. Homelander senses this, picks him up, flies in. Ryan's upset, doesn't want to talk to him. And of course, here comes Stormfront, punk ass, trying to force. And to me, I think a low-key moment in the episode was he goes in, he talks to Ryan, and he's trying to teach Ryan to use his laser vision, and Stormfront starts talking and starts giving off some alt-right type shit, and she says it's called white genocide, and
even before that,
he's looks at her and it's like, What?
I have another essay about that. Like, even before she said the white genocide, like, she's like, that's cute that you don't hate anyone. Like, the fact that she's like, how dare you not hate anyone? But then also, I think, again, like, because a lot of things in the show are symbolic. I think, like, him being silent and still not correcting her shows how, again, like, how, like, American moderate conservatives will kind of, like, side eye the alt-right, but not correct them, because they're like, well, we're still on the same side here. But I don't agree with you. But I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, he made that face like, "Oh, you big racist."
It was the subtle twitch of the eyebrow from the. Yeah, you really don't. You don't say that. Like that's
he's like, oh, you were right.
Like, oh, you a Nazi. All right. And in the middle of this happening, D, were you about to say something?
I'm listening.
So in the middle of all this happening, the news breaks about they take the pictures. Well, they send the pictures to CNN, revealing Stormfront to be over 100 years old, that she was a literal Nazi. And while this is happening, slightly before this, Butcher meets with Stan Edgar.
There's a lot of important dialogue there too.
Yeah. Where and Giancarlo Esposito, again, great actor, where he is they're talking and he's asking like, yo, how can you like trust this Nazi bitch? Like what are you doing? And Stan Edgar's like, of course I don't like it, but I can't just, I forget the exact words, but he basically says, I can't fly off the handle. That's a white man's luxury. And it kind of shows, he's like, look, listen, my job is to steer this ship and get this money. I can't afford to take the founder's wife who's embedded deep in this company and is actually doing shit that's making us money and piss her off because they'll replace me with a white man. So I got to sit here. And it's symbolic of what a lot of black people have to deal with, where they have to sit there and endure shit for the sake of making money, because they know that if they don't do it, somebody else will come in and do it. Exactly.
I think one thing too, I also think kind of like Stan Edgar is like a symbol of like capitalism, because even he's like, well, you know what, she pisses people off and it helps with our stock going up. So I'm just like, so it's just a capitalist thing. It's like, of course, like, yeah, I hate the person, but if I'm making money from it, it doesn't really matter.
Right. So yeah, that was, and basically the crux of that meeting is Butcher says, we know Ryan was your contingency for Homelander, and if I can get him away from you, then if I can get him away from Homelander, then I will leave him where this phone is, and your people can come in and take him back. I'll keep him away from his mother, and if she ever shows up, just say this is the only way I can guarantee to keep him safe from Homelander. And to which Stan Edgar responds to Butcher, and you call me ruthless, because Butcher called him ruthless beforehand. And it's again going to show like what Butcher is willing to do for his cause, which is getting Becca back and fucking with Homelander,
and being selfish as shit. Because he's selfish as shit.
He is, but in that moment, like, I kind of understood. It's like, look, I can't live happily with her if this kid is there, and this ain't my kid, so...
Selfish.
No, selfish as shit.
Yeah.
In the end, that ends up happening anyway. He still is going off to some cold government area without his mother, and that's what they feared this entire time. It's just in the hands of quote unquote better people. But are the CIA really better people?
I hope so. I hope Mallory's got some kind of hand.
That's what I'm hoping. If she could have kind of like raise him, I'm not sure. As her proxy grandchild.
If she's running that off the books team, I don't think she can raise him. I think he's going to have to be in the hands of somebody else, and in a very secure area where Homelander can't hear or sense him, because we know he has super hearing. So if
probably out of the country.
Yeah, like if he can go like in zero, like there is gonna have to be like super secure, super soundproof to the point that Homelander can't get anywhere near or sense him, because otherwise what was the point of that? So I mean, that's jumping ahead a little bit, but yeah, I kind of understood Butcher in that moment as a man in love. Like, listen, this kid presents an issue, and y'all can have his ass if it means I get my woman back.
But it also goes to show how well Becca knew him, because she said that's what he was going to do. If I leave with you, you're going to find a way to get rid of Ryan, and that was it.
Of course, of course, yeah. And so they get back to the warehouse, and Becca makes Butcher promise that he will do everything he can to protect Ryan from Vought, and Butcher promises, and
You gotta remember he promised on his dead brother. You gotta remember that.
On Lenny. She made him promise on Lenny, which again goes to show how much Becca knows him, because she's like, I'm gonna make you swear on the one thing that you will not forsake in this life. And Butcher promises. The plan gets underway. They use these Vought speakers to emit this super loud thing that hurts Ryan's ears. Homelander flies off to find it. Butcher and Becca show up, put the headphones on Ryan. They get to leaving, and an important moment is, Ryan is like, "Hey, who is this?" Referring to Butcher, and Becca goes, "He's my husband," which gets Ryan to trust in him, which is important later in the episode. So Stormfront is flying back, and no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Did Stormfront fly back first, or did Homelander fly back and find the guards?
He flew to the cabin.
He flew back to the cabin first.
It was kind of like it was almost like right back to back.
Yeah. So Homelander flies back to the cabin. Vaught's guards come in to find Butcher's mom.
And they knew that they were about to die.
He was like, "What is this I hear about Butcher? Where's my son?"
He heard Butcher's name, and he's just like, and it's like, "Do we?" And you hear someone in the radio, "Do we have the kid?" I'm just like,
yeah. When he like closed the door behind him.
Oh yeah, when he closed the door behind him, it was like, "Oh, it's a wrap for y'all boys."
Like, he's about to get busy.
Yeah. And when I saw that moment, I was like, that's where all the blood came from.
That's where, that's exactly. I was like, "Ooh, that's where all the." And I think Michael said it too. He's like, that's the blood.
And so around the same time, Stormfront, Butcher and Becca get back. He hands Mother's Milk the keys to the car and says, "Hey, get them away from here." And then he tells Becca the truth, like, "Listen, you can't trust me around him. I sold him out. I'll do it again." And and I'll do it again.
One important thing he was like, because I think another important thing in the cabin was he saw like how apologetic Ryan was. It's like, "I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm like, I should never have left you and said those things." I think Butcher noticed that as well. And I think that was like the moment where he was like, okay, she actually raised him to be different. And he even said that he's like, okay, you actually raised him. He's actually a decent kid. And maybe with you, he's got a chance.
I mean, true, but there's no way Becca would have left him once she laid eyes on him.
I know, but like, I think that's why he let the kids stay with Becca, because I think he thought, because in his mind, like, Becca is like the most pure and good thing ever, that Becca was the only chance for Ryan to really ever be really good.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, he ain't had no choice at that point, because once she saw him, Vought showed up, he loses both of them anyway. So I think once she made him swear on his dead brother, he had no choice but I think that moment made him feel better about it, in seeing that. And then the Mother's Milk gets in the car, they drive off. Stormfront shows up, using lightning to levitate the car, which I never understand. How can lightning levitate something? Like, is that?
I think it's plasma. I think it's like lightning and plasma, because they said the word plasma, something like that. But
theoretic. I mean, can plasma levitate shit? I don't know. I ain't. We gotta ask
superhero show.
We gotta ask Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Or state of matter plasma.
Yeah, like can that shit levitate shit? Like is that a thing?
Like, she uses it as a force.
As I'm saying, maybe she used the atmospheric pressure.
Yeah, yeah. I'll listen to the engineer on this one. I don't know nothing about that. So Butcher rushes over, gets them out of the car, and Ryan, Mother's Milk tells Butcher, Ryan, and Becca to run. They'll hold off Stormfront. Stormfront shows up, starts talking shit. Kamiko starts laughing, does the sign language that says she's about to put her foot up her cunt, or something to that effect. And and
her Nazi kitty.
Her Nazi kitty, yeah.
Courtney's prediction of Starlight absorbing Stormfront's powers didn't happen.
Okay, I'm still thinking it's gonna happen. Okay, listen, because I'm still thinking they're no, she's not dead.
To happen.
I think she's not dead. I think she's gonna be like some kind of like cyborg, because all they did was Darth Vader her, and I think we still have a chance here. She's not dead.
I think she's done so. I don't think her regenerative powers can, because she basically didn't have a lower body. Like I don't think she can.
She was left in the same state that Anakin Skywalker was left in.
She had a trunk. Yeah, she still had a trunk, and her.
She just went with the factory reset.
She didn't have her the bottom end of her extremity.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I
still had a trunk in her head.
I thought she was dead. I
thought she was too.
I'm still in the camp of like, unless we see someone die, but we also could see her be what they said would happen to Lamplighter, which I won't get into that. Like, You know what I'm talking about. We may see that with her, like with the after effects of Come Home B. We might see that. We might get Cyborg. And I'm like, they may like make her Cyborg. I don't think she's 100% dead, but
I personally thought the line about them saying that she was in a facility was just a lie to, you know.
See, it could be either way. She could be totally dead and be dead, or she could be in a facility, like you said, because you have to remember a lot of TV shows will write a character to stay because the audience loves them. And the audience clearly loves her.
See, the only reason I think she's really dead is because I think the final scene of Homelander is him going totally unhinged because he has nothing left. That is my reasoning for thinking so.
And he may not know that she's not dead though.
Nah, I think he would know because he was there with her body. Or did he fly off? Did he fly off? Or did he stay with her?
Well, he flew off after. I mean, he saw her. Yeah, but
I don't.
There's the question. Who would have given Vought her body?
Well, I mean, Vought already knew they were there. They might have just shown up.
So because they just came and got it? Okay.
They might have just came and got it. I mean, but like I said, I was under the impression that she was dead.
But let's go back to the scene that I want injected into my veins. Here's my thing that I love is that they like built the whole season up just like roasting Marvel for just like that fake like woo feminism moment, and then they did it so much better. They did it so like, and it actually was like really awesome, and I loved it. I was
so Kimiko and Starlight, I got her name right this episode. Get the fighting Stormfront, and
you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
I call her Starfront last episode.
Starlighter.
It's gonna be hard because you have to mention both of their names in this one.
They
Starlighter, you better say it right.
Starlighter. Get the fighting, and of course Stormfront gets the upper hand. She incapacitates the non-powered members of the boys, and then we hear what does she call her? Kraut?
Kraut is actually a slur used by American soldiers in World War I, World War II against Germans. Fun fact. I know that because my uncle was a World War II veteran, and I heard he'd use that.
Yeah, so Maeve shows up on screen, and she's like, "Hey, Kraut," and then they start triple teaming her. They get the upper hand, and then there's just a scene where they're just like schoolyard kicking her all around her body.
It's like die. It's like she's like something, you Nazi bitch.
Yeah, they're just
she's like, eat shit, you Nazi bitch. I was like, inject it into my veins, and they're just like beating the shit out of her. It's so
AJ,
good.
You forgot her and Kimiko though.
Yeah, Kimiko got her neck broken out.
Yeah. Is this a chiropractor? I was like, she can't be, but can she be? Please don't be.
Yeah, and then she
snapped it back. So okay, cool.
No, it was just a chiropractor visit for her. She's just like,
I mean, her brother threw her through a building, so I was like, she's probably okay. But still, it was still like,
it was a little scary.
Yeah, because didn't Black Noir like kill her last season?
That's like Black Noir gave her a much more brutal death than that. So
I mean, so she stayed alive. Stormfront gets frustrated, flies off, lands in front of Ryan and Becca and Butcher, and starts choking up Becca against a tree. Butcher's with a crowbar, like hitting her to no avail, starts shooting her. None of this shit happens. And then Ryan gets upset, and there's a bright flash of light. And what I predicted happened. Ryan killed Becca in a fit of rage.
But not intentionally.
But not toward her, towards Stormfront. And Becca is holding her neck. She's bleeding out. Stormfront looks like Anakin, as Court said, sitting there with no arm and no lower body.
And she was on factory reset mode, just like speaking.
I think somebody was saying like she was reciting the 8 words.
She actually, that's what I thought, but she actually, I found it's like a Reddit post for someone that spoke German, said that she actually, like, she thought Homelander, I think the first part she may have been, but when Homelander came up, she thought he was Frederick Vought and was talking about a memory with him and their daughter in the countryside.
Yeah,
I just saw her hold her arm up, and I was like,
because she said and Chloe was sticking her arm out the window or something like that. But I think they said the first part, she was.
Yeah, she was saying the 8 words, which is why I was like, oh yeah, she's toast.
She's in factory reset mode.
Yeah, Becca's bleeding out of her neck, and she tells Butcher, please tell Ryan it's not his fault. And Ryan's sitting there bleeding apart, and Butcher looks at him, and I thought, oh, my prediction's about to. Butcher picks up a crowbar and starts walking towards him with murderous intent, and then John shows. Here's Johnny.
I think honestly he would have killed Ryan if Homelander.
No, yeah, he definitely. I think what stopped him from wanting to do so was when Homelander motions for Ryan to come here, and Ryan instinctively walks towards Butcher,
gets behind him,
which is why I said the moment of Becca saying, "This is my husband," put the idea into his brain. I can trust this man because my mom loved him, and rather than going to the man he knows as his father, he goes to Butcher, and Butcher gets ready to attack. Homelander, Homelander gets ready to attack Butcher. Yeah, Butcher gets ready to die because all he has is a robot. And Maeve shows up and says, "You're gonna leave them alone." And she shows the video of the airplane and says, "I will show this to everyone. If you will leave Starlight alone, you will leave me alone, and you will leave the boys alone."
And what worked is she's like, "And no one will ever love you again." And that's what worked.
Right, because that's all he has is adoration. So
because his kryptonite is his need to be loved.
Right, because he says before that, "If I will destroy everything and everyone if you do that," and she says, "I don't care. No one will ever love you again." And he stops and hears people chanting his name, and that's enough to make him withdraw, and he lets everybody go. And
I underestimated his need for that for that affirmation. I knew it was a thing, but I didn't realize how much it actually feeds him. Because I think his whole life turned around when she said that. It was just like, whoa.
I think that's what's going to make him go homicidal maniac and unhinged is when he starts to not care. I think maybe that video might end up getting leaked anyway, or something might come out. And I think as soon as the public starts to not like Homelander, that's when he's going to go unhinged.
Yeah, they did the foreshadowing with the laser eyes when he was on stage with Victoria.
Oh yeah,
when, he did the thing, and it was a dream or a daydream, but still, I think that's one
of the last scenes of this episode. Yeah, when he was on stage and it kept zooming in his eyes. First of all, Anthony Starr is an excellent actor. Is an excellent actor because you could see it in his eyes. I think he was fantasizing lasering people in that moment because again he lost Stormfront. And Ryan rejected him. And Ryan never told him that he loved him. And the one person that did tell him he loved him, even though it was out of manipulation and she was an actual Nazi, is either dead or just gone.
And still dead too. Like that's why I think that last scene. Yeah, Maeve too. Yeah, that's why I think that last scene is so important because if you haven't seen it, he's beating his dick on top of a building and basically leaning back saying, "I can do whatever I want. Can do whatever the fuck." So to me, I think he's already unhinged. I think the only thing that is keeping him hinged is the fact that people not finding out. That's kind of why I feel like what we talked about beforehand. I can't say what. That's why I feel like that is still in play because that's the only thing that'll get him to go publicly unhinged. I feel like he's about to be behind the scenes unhinged.
I have an idea. I'm not going to get into detail, but I think Noir might be having some mental issues when he comes back because he was brain dead.
Oh, I think he already has.
But think about it. He went brain dead because of asphyxia, because of his tree nut allergy. All I'm saying is Black Noir might be doing some unhinged things.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
But yeah, more so because his nut allergy reaction, whatever, he probably is going to go chaos.
How is that going to work with him and Maeve?
Stormfront mentioned he was brain dead.
Well, she said it, but I don't know if that was necessarily I don't know if she meant really brain dead.
But probably going if comatose, it's not a good sign.
Yeah,
I mean, he already seemed kind of brain dead. He almost seems.
The scene with him laughing after the compound B thing.
Not all
imagine how much more exasperated that is when you go a long time without oxygen and breathe into your brain. Yeah, that's
or he might just say fuck it like Homelander did.
Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna have some actual brain damage,
and nobody knows who he is, and he is truly unfuckwittable. It feels. I mean, aside from the tree nuts.
I love that. I love that.
I'm kind of wondering if that's not really a thing. I'm wondering if maybe he told them that, but it's not necessarily the case.
But then why'd he have an EpiPen?
Yeah, he had an EpiPen on him.
He had a whole EpiPen.
To keep up the appearance of it, because why wouldn't you?
Then why would he let them get away?
Stan Edgar told him to.
The long con. He's playing a long con.
And so to get into this point, we found out who the head exploder is at the very end of the episode, and it is Victoria Newman, the Congress.
Talking about head exploding.
Not only that, but she did it to the leader of the church.
Right. We find out because she exploded the head of the leader of the Church of the Collective because he was planning on blackmailing Vought. And if you read the comic books, who Victoria Newman is based upon, is a Vought puppet. Mm-hmm. So she is doing every time somebody gets close to unveil, and she says earlier in the episode, it's a Vought coup. She knows it. She's saying it. Everyone agrees with her, but she is their last means of it within the government of stopping people from leaking what Vought is trying to do. So
controlled opposition.
Right. So she
her and Edgar are in cahoots.
Yes.
Probably.
Yep.
Yes.
But one thing I noticed, like people said they rewatched the past episode. Every time she looked at someone in that hearing, their head exploded.
Yeah, I rewatched it, and because
even her chief of staff.
There's a scene where she covers her eyes and the hair popping starts, but when she starts looking at people again, and it's always whoever she's looking at, because she turns around and looks at her chief of staff, and then they're gone too. So yeah, it's every time she looks at someone.
Feigned the shock so that she could blow up more heads.
Yeah, and it makes sense. That's why she spared Homelander and Stormfront.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably why what's her face from the beginning had her head explode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Mallory made it. Thank goodness, because I was nervous for her too.
Right, but see, Mallory says at the end of the episode she's starting an off the book team that is reporting to Victoria Newman, and to me that is how they are going to keep tabs on what the boys are doing and what.
And now that Huey's working for her,
right. They're going to be able to constantly they're going to be able to give them just enough to make them feel like they're making a difference, but every time they get too close. And to me, that's why I said I felt like Edgar was in control of whoever. I thought it was Cindy. We thought it was Cindy. Mm-hmm. But he has shown that he is 2 or 3 steps ahead of wherever everybody else thinks they are. Mm-hmm. So if he knew the key to getting rid of Stormfront was to give the boys a shot at Ryan, or he knew Butcher would come to him after he went to Vogelbaum, he probably already knew that they would end up killing Stormfront, and that was kind of him showing his disgust. He probably figured out what would happen, so maybe he purposely called Black Noir off and said, "Hey, we're gonna let them go so we can expose who the traitors are."
And maybe why he let Starlight back.
Right, because now you have you have Maeve and Starlight under watch at all times.
Mm-hmm. You know what else was probably intentional? That conversation they had in his office. What's the guy's name? The Church of the Collective dude. Remember,
Alistair?
he had a conversation.
Alistair.
Yeah, he had a conversation with Edgar that A-Train overheard, but that could have been intentional because Alistair knew who stole the files.
Exactly.
Like you said, as far as long con, Edgar is got to be like.
Edgar might have known that he was there, and he might have said that simply to let A-Train know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
So Edgar to me seems like he's so far ahead of everything that maybe the Black Noir thing is a fake out. It's not really the case, and he wanted this done so that he could see whose loyalties lied where and see what would happen, and basically get all of the opposition out on the field without them, unmasking.
And get rid of her.
Yes, and get rid of Stormfront all at the same time. Mm-hmm. He knew that information would drive her to be crazy. It would catch her off guard. And the fact that Maeve already showed that she was willing to attack another member of the 7-4 Starlight, he probably, this probably advanced his plan. And if we know anything from the comic books, there's also other people at play who are several steps ahead. That's why I said I feel like that it might be a thing, but it also might not be. Like, it might be something that he was ordered to do, because we've shown that the one person he will listen to is Edgar. Edgar said,
or like we said, Noir could be anybody or multiple people, because we have no idea who's in the suit. So that could be a part of it too.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know that the tree nut allergy, and it might be, but as soon as I saw that,
I kind of buy it too that next season, AJ, because think about it, like Homelander has already kind of started voicing his opposition towards Edgar, and he knows that Homelander killed Stillwell. He knows that Homelander is capable of killing him, so they may try to agitate Homelander to kind of speed up that process to have an excuse to kind of just like be rid of Homelander. Especially, it depends on how Ryan ages. It's like, well, as soon as Ryan's of age to replace Homelander, boom, just retire him.
Yeah, and to bring up another point, we said earlier that Ryan is out of play for them, but if he's got eyes on Mallory and Mallory has eyes on Ryan, then he might know where Ryan is.
He knows where Ryan is.
He knows where Ryan is.
Yeah, he does.
He knows.
So yeah,
He knows.
If nothing else, this season showed me that Stan Edgar always knows what's going on. And he always has a contingency plan, because I thought the head popping question would be answered early, but when it wasn't, I was like, okay, they're gonna. And then at the very end of the episode, when I saw it, I was like, ew. Then I read
we kind of figured that it's like Edgar had something to do with it.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say, you did call that, AJ. You said it was Cindy, but you did say somebody was controlling it. So instead of him controlling Cindy, it's just Victoria in a way.
Right, and that might have been the thing to where when they found out what Cindy's powers were, they found a way to replicate that in Victoria.
It could be
Very possible. Very possible.
Like I said, we don't know what exactly her powers are outside of the head exploding thing.
It looks like that might be it, and her limitations are that she has to look at somebody, and it makes sense that when, again, like people that rewatch certain episodes, which again, that's why this show is just better to be binged. When Homelander showed up at her rally, she never took her eyes off of him.
Yeah.
Ever. And like at first I thought it was a shock, but it was like out of caution to protect herself.
Yeah, she was ready.
She never took her eyes off of
just
him.
because she had to. She was gonna let him take out that entire crowd, and then his head was gonna pop.
So they won't see her. Yeah. Okay, everybody's dead. Okay, now.
Yeah.
I don't blame her. I would have kept it on there too.
And it could be because she's running for Senate, right? She's running for Senate.
Yeah, she's running for
Senate. Well, no, she is a senator. Now what's happening is they said she's basically the new czar. Like she has control over, she has eyes on basically the entire national security infrastructure. Like she is the new intel czar.
And
like
this is where I'm thinking.
Run by her, meaning everything now runs by Vought.
This is where I'm thinking if she gets like some position like Speaker of the House, like she's in line for presidency.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to advance her to VP. I think there's going to be an election.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's going to end up running for VP and winning, and that's going to put them that much closer to the presidency. Mm-hmm. And like I said, to me, like thinking about everything that happened this episode, it was all a long con to put Vought more in control of the national security infrastructure. Mm-hmm. I think the whole Compound V putting that out, I think that was a fake. I think they did everything they needed to do to advance it just far enough and let the boys and Mallory and their opposition feel like they're in total control, while having the person that is basically at the head of national security basically reporting to them and giving them everything that they want. Because the one thing that they wanted was superheroes within the military. And they kind of did that. Like there's this old saying that like if you wherever you want to attack, send your forces the opposite spot. Like if you want to attack this bridge, send them over to somewhere else so they'll put their defense there, and then you can get the bridge very easily. I feel like all that. Like we're still gonna get what we. Yeah,
they did that as an example with the sound thing with Ryan. That's exactly what they did. Well, the boys did. So to your point, that's exactly how they got him out of the way to get to Ryan. So yeah, it makes sense. This was all a long con by Vought to continue to, because they've said multiple times it's a coup. And that's basically what it is. This is a coup d'etat that Vought is trying to do. They don't want superheroes in the military. They want to control the country. And that is what they're essentially about to have. What were you about to say, D? No, I was just saying coup d'etat. But as far as controlling the world, controlling it, what exactly does that mean? Like what?
Money.
Yeah, more money. Government contracts.
Less oversight.
Okay, so they just get to do whatever they want.
Yeah, if you have a vice president who can kill the president at any point in time, you can enforce your agenda while having the person who can kill him in close proximity to him and immediately step in and become president. Like I feel like that's essentially what they're setting up for is, and like I said, where she is right now, she's the hub of information for all national security. So they're gonna have tabs. Go ahead.
Do they have intentions of giving out people Compound V?
I think that's what they. I think that's what
setting. You think?
It's sold for like $5 million a pop. They said.
Right, because remember, Edgar said this is a pharmaceutical company.
He did.
Superheroes. They slowly rolled out the idea of superheroes. Starlight leaks Compound V, because we never find out how Stormfront found out that she leaked Compound V.
Exactly.
It tells me that Edgar probably knew. He told her, and again, he set all of this stuff in motion to get Compound V leaked, to make sure that the world knew about it. It was no longer a secret. They don't have to have a burden for it anymore, and then to create this conflict that they pull back suddenly to say, okay, Compound V was the fake out. We really want control of the government, and we want these government contracts. We want less government oversight, so we can basically do what the fuck we want.
I think she found it in her bag because she mentioned Gecko. So I think when Gecko brought it to Starlight and Starlight tried to hide it from A-Train, she put it in Stormfront's bag. And I think Stormfront saw it and realized what was happening and just let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she reported that to Edgar, and Edgar was like, "Oh, okay, we can use this."
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, they would know in advance. So that makes sense. That when Ashley was freaking out, that he's like, "Oh no, we already have a plan. We already have a plan."
All this last episode showed me was Stan Edgar knows everything and everything that needs to be done, and he's 4 steps ahead of where the boys are at all times. And again, kudos to Giancarlo Esposito. I can't wait to see him wield the Darksaber in the Mandalorian.
It's gonna be very good.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be so good. He's so good. But yeah, I was just like, Butcher's actor, I forgot his name. He's really talented. Carl Urban, Anthony Starr, just like stars of the show.
I love the moment with him and Ryan because he gives him the necklace and he's giving him a pep talk, and Ryan's going to get an SUV, and he was like, "Remember what I said?" He's like, "Don't be a cunt."
Don't be a cunt.
And I think that means a lot for character development with Butcher too. That he kind of gave him a talk.
Yeah,
because I still think like in the end he still sees him like it's like Homelander's son too, but it's also Becca's son.
Right.
There has to be a part of Butcher that understands in a way how he feels because both of them lost Becca, So they may have his humanity, like, I know how it feels to lose Becca, and I can only imagine you feel the same, not the same way. You can't ever feel the same way, but you know what I mean? Like if you feel nearly as bad as I do, then plus you're a child, plus you have to live with the fact that you did it. Although it was a mistake, you still did it. So yeah.
Yeah. Totally showing up an hour late.
Thanks for joining. Thanks
for joining.
But hey, AJ, do you think because I forget which Captain American movie did you think they were going to go with season 3? Do you think they're still going to go? No. What route do we think they're going to go with season 3?
I feel like Soldier Boy is going to be another superficial contingency plan for Homelander. I feel like
is he a villain or is he is he one of the boys or one of the six?
I think
he makes Homelander look worse.
I think that Vought,
so he's bad.
I think he's going to be in the 7 because Vought needs to put someone so super American because they had a literal German Nazi in the 7. Okay. So it makes sense if they put him in the 7.
I'm confused because like some of the stuff I've read says like the boys are going to be looking for Soldier Boy because there's a conspiracy involving him, of course, because everything's a conspiracy.
Aren't there 2 different kinds of Soldier Boys in the comics? In the
comics, but they said this one is going to be the original one.
So do you think there could be the other one too?
I
still want to know who the fuck Nelson is, by the way.
I have no idea who Nelson is.
But do you think they could have that?
I don't know. Do y'all ever think Butcher ever just thinks I can raise a superhero to F these other people up?
I think he hates Soups enough to where I don't.
Yeah. And I think he knows he himself would not be a good father.
Not
without Becca around.
Possibly with that was his maybe part of the plan with him sending it with Mallory because it's like if they raise him, he might be able to take out Homelander one day.
He might be tough enough to take out
because
Homelander.
Then he's like if he continues to be how Becca raised him, then that's a possibility.
But to answer your question, no, I think this is just going to be Soldier Boy. Go ahead, D.
I was going to say, plus it might be that whole Butcher might understand that he can't break the cycle because we saw how terrible his father was. And he may not want to be that to Ryan. So that's why he's just like, nah.
He said that. He said, I would be the worst father ever.
Right. And I think that talk with Vogelbaum also instilled that in him when I think he understood that part. And he would probably at some point look at Ryan being the soft, sweet kid that he is and say, no, I got to make you tough. I gotta make you able to stand up in front of Homelander and not flinch like I did when I have no doubt.
You can't be Huey.
Not be Huey. No, Huey.
Can't be like him. Yeah.
Hey, could you imagine Huey like trying to step in when Butcher's trying to toughen up Ryan? I'd hate him even more.
Oh my god!
Like, could you imagine? If, like, no, you got now, Billy. He can't. They're in the coal mine. Come on.
I hope they fix that next season. I really do.
I hope they keep it. I hope they say
I feel like this is just going to be the one Soldier Boy, and I feel like this is going to be kind of the American version of what Stormfront was. I feel like to reverse that, they're going to say, "Hey, here's the original Soldier Boy." Like, but for them to say he's going to be worse than Homelander after saying Homelander is going to be completely unhinged, I don't know what the fuck to expect.
I mean, technically, like Stormfront was worse than him too, because like he's messed up. But Stormfront was like, I like every time she kills, she's like, I like to see the light go out. I'm like, that's that's serial killer shit.
Yeah.
Like I think here's the thing with Homelander. I think like I think he just thinks that everyone that's not him is inferior to him because he's like the most impervious. Like I think, but I don't think he's like Stormfront in that way. Again, like the modern.
One thing, you got to be completely unhinged to jack off on top of a skyscraper. Like that's just man's had his pants around his ankles. Like he had his knees slightly cocked so you could tell he was into it. Pause. Like that was just some wild shit.
I don't think he like hates like that. I think he like gets annoyed by people. I think he gets annoyed. I think he gets annoyed, but I don't think he hates people.
But see, to me, when I hear them say unhinged,
I think he likes to fuck with people. Like I don't think he hates Butcher. I think he just likes to fuck with Butcher. I think he might hate him a little bit more now. I think he might hate him now because he took his son away. But
Butcher, though, I think you're right. I think the difference is Stormfront was just like a literal racist. So her motivation was racism. Homelander just doesn't want people in his way. Period. It doesn't matter what you are. It's not like he's saying, "Oh, this black person or this Asian person or this person who's not, blue-eyed and white is in my way." It is, you person are in my way. I don't see anything other than the fact that you're an obstacle.
Chuck says Homelander is thirsty to kill, basically. Yeah, and I think to me, I think that's going to change next season. And I think he's going to be.
Stormfront kind of like lit that fire in him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be thirsty to kill next season. And like I said, I think they're going to get into more of the perverse sexual actions within reason. Because initially they didn't work out. They said they filmed the scene of him beating off
in season one.
Like, no, we can't do that. And then this year they were like, fuck it. Like, I know they can't go hero-gasm and they can't go terror. Like, they can't go the fuck it fully route. But, like, I feel like there's going to be some fucked up shit. Like, it's going to be a lot of trigger warnings before episodes.
Do you think, because I've read it, I was able to read it a little bit into the comics. Do you think with how they're going to have that kind of, like, group under Mallory set up that we will actually get them just taking on small-time soups?
I think that's part of why they're bringing in Soldier Boy. I think they're going to start looking into like the G-Men and the what do they call it? Not the Revengers. The Avengers
6.
What's the Avengers? It's Payback or something.
Payback,
like
yes, Payback is the name. Yeah, because it's some play off of Avengers. But I feel like because like I said, I think they're putting them like where they start off in the comics, where Butcher gets back together as off the books team, and they go around blackmail. I feel like we're gonna get more into that because everyone's kind of where they started is just that they start in the comics. Is just that now you have this Maeve and Starlight being essentially insider operatives against Vought, which I'm wondering how they're going to play that off. Because again, Black Noir, like, yeah, he's going to know Maeve attempted to kill him, but like, is he just going to be cool with that? Like when they sit in conference meetings, is he just going to be over there like, yeah?
I think he's going to be half brain dead.
How many volumes are there? Because this may be, just it's nothing, like but I just...
Is that like a really short comic series?
It's only 72 issues. I think there's 4 or 5 collected editions.
Yeah, I think there's 5 editions.
I thought I saw volume 9 on whatever Jensen Ackles was reading. I could have sworn I saw volume 9 on what he was reading. Like when the Instagram where somebody threw it to him and he was kind of flipping through it when he made
I see. So there's 12 editions, and no, there's 12 volumes, and then there's 6 definitive editions. So the volumes are only like, so the first one is 6 issues, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8.
So we're probably gonna 10, get like a season per edition.
Well, so that's what I'm thinking. gonna be volume 9, or you
I
think
feel
that
like
was just
6 seasons is a lot for a show. I still think I
feel like they're advancing it because again, if you're doing 6 issues for the first, like essentially, we're doing like two volumes per season.
So we're doing. I think 4 is a good number. I think 3 is gonna be too soon. I think 4 will be the good number.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cord. I think it's gonna be.
That's how I am. Unless it's like a really extended show, like something like Game of Thrones or something. Like a show should never be more than 4 seasons.
But to answer your question, Chuck, I hope we do something for Invincible. Invincible looks really good. If you're not sure what that is, that's another Ennis comic, isn't it?
Yeah, Robert Kirkman.
Right? Oh, Kirkman. Yeah, Kirkman. So
Kirkman. It's I think it's under the Image imprint though. But yeah, it's.
Well, I mean Garth Ennis, but yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Image.
No, I realized that when you said Kirkman, but yeah, it's a Kirkman comic. It's gonna be on Amazon. It's basically a story about a kid who finds out that he's half alien and is invincible, and he names himself Invincible. And there's a couple twists in it, but I won't throw those out there.
You know what I think? I think because of COVID, I think they're like next season's gonna be a bit of a time jump. And it'll be like an election year or something, and that will be it with Newman at the head, and then them bringing Soldier Boy in, because it looks like the boys are kind of all going off on their own for right now, and then something happens and they have to get all back together again.
Yeah, because there's a really jacked up storyline with Mother's Milk that I hope they don't do, involving his kid and his wife. Like I really hope that they don't. Yeah, I hope that they don't go there. But yeah, I do kind of think that they're going to go a couple years where Mother's Milk's been out the game, and then again Butcher tries to get him to come back, and there's this or something might happen where they, like in the comics, they get divorced and she leaves him and he decides, Chuck says Invincible is the best Superman story ever told. But I said I thought that they were going to do like a 3-4 year time jump, because if Ryan's going to ever be in play again, you have to do a time, because how old is he?
He's like 8 or 9, or possibly 10 somewhere. But I think if they could also pass that he ages faster, because Homelander aged faster, and they said that like Becca's pregnancy was not normal when it comes it was faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they could play that like he ages faster than a normal person. So
I mean, the apparently they did an interview with the actor who plays him, and he said that he's not sure what the future holds for the character. So I am I mean they can never do anything with him again, and I'd be happy. Like I never needed the idea of a baby Homelander running around.
Yeah,
like, that wasn't something that intrigued me, even if he was good, because to me that's Superman.
Is A-Train different now, or is he going to be the same old A-Train?
It'll be same old A-Train.
Yeah, I think even worse.
I think there's going to be a point that's made that the only person that hasn't actively betrayed Vought or Homelander is Black Noir. Is the only team member of the 7.
Well, I mean, A-Train too. He never technically betrayed Homelander, but
he betrayed Stormfront. So in Homelander's mind, that's similar. He betrayed the company in a way. So
yeah, okay. Since she's the face, but I mean, she's a Nazi. You can't expect him not to tell.
Did you see how upset that he was at his own son for pretty much, lighting up his girlfriend like that? So
she deserved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she deserved it, but
I mean, because it looked as if though he was about to almost embrace him, kind of like you now see that you can use your powers. I didn't take it as.
I didn't take that as him being. I thought he was sad about her, but I don't think that.
But I don't think
he was mad at Ryan.
I don't think he'd see what A-Train did as a good thing.
Chuck says A-Train definitely the same, especially after how he strut out of there after getting his job back. Ronnie, were you saying this? I think he might be worse. Like he might.
Yeah, because he got kicked out and now he's back. He's like, I'm untouchable now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he'll have the same. I don't think he'll have the same kind of hatred towards Starlight. I think it might just be more of
because she helped. She helped him get back in the set.
I think they're just not going to associate with each other.
And they literally saved his life.
He doesn't care about that.
He doesn't care about that. He's probably like, you should let me die.
At some point, he was. I thought he was going to say that. Well, he was like, "We saved your life, so you should let me die, dumbass."
Why would you do that?
I thought he was about to
say It'd be nasty why you did that.
Shitbird is now going in my vocabulary.
But yeah, I think he's gonna be the same, except for like I don't think Starlight will have to be as worried about him.
Yeah, like I said, my only question is, I just want to know why the fuck Starlight went back. Like, I feel like that was just a dumb ass decision on her part.
Yeah.
But I can't
like that whole. You can't.
Outside.
Didn't somebody say something about something about
that she said
make change from the outside? She said that. Yeah. So
I mean, and I'm wondering, like, her only other option was to continue to be on the run.
Yeah, so Starlight is basically like a black writer at Barstool Sports. She's like, I can change it from the inside.
Running, please.
Oh, my bad.
He's like, because Homelander was gonna stop chasing her, and I feel maybe that's
that doesn't mean Vought won't. That doesn't mean Vought won't.
Yeah, maybe Vought had that on her and was like, you have to come back.
Yeah, keep your enemies close and whatnot.
Yeah, like I think for me, it's either she goes back or she still has to be on the run. It's probably for her mom too.
Well, I mean, they stopped chasing.
The aftermath was like.
Her mama could die too. I mean, I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, she can definitely go.
Okay.
She could definitely.
Even D agree with that.
Was like for them, yeah, I do. But I was wondering what the aftermath was like for Maeve and Starlight when they had to go back, because, like you said, even if the boys had left the scene, somebody had to. If Vought got there while Stormfront was there, getting her Anakin Skywalker on, did they have to explain anything? You think they told why? You think they told what happened?
It's one of the things that's unspoken.
Yeah, I think maybe Homelander.
Did they say Homelander did it?
Yeah, well, no, maybe Homelander just decided to tell the story that they were the ones who caught. And
remember, because it's like, they said that like
credibility.
That makes sense, because Maeve and Starlight were at the same meeting where he was like, and thanks to Starlight and Maeve's bravery that we were able to find out about.
He called them friends and stared at them. That's not.
That makes sense.
Ominous at all.
And that makes sense for like for Vought to be totally fine with A-Train like actually stealing and revealing that, because that would have been the only way for them to justify her death and just sudden disappearance.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like Edgar is like behind all of this shit, because he's like carefully orchestrating all of this shit to get it exactly where he wants. Maybe she thinks the hold they have over Homelander is enough for her to be able to make that. No, I definitely think there's some arrogance there. I definitely feel like
he's so unstable, and I get that like they have the whole the public won't love you, blah 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 blah. But still, it's somebody said, I don't remember what I was watching, but it was one of those situations where Mallory, when she was like, you don't back a wild animal in a corner like that, and I feel like that's what they're doing, and we've already seen what happened when they did it to Lamplighter, and I can only imagine it's 10,000 times worse doing it to Homelander.
Oh, my thing is,
that might be foreshadowing.
What are their other options?
Run.
I mean, I'm with you. This just seems weird.
If he agreed that he was going to stop chasing them, I would just say go on the run, like, because you don't have to worry about him, and they assume that Black Noir is no longer a problem. So for me, it would just be like go into CIA protection.
Yeah, I think it's arrogance. I think it's arrogance on her part that she went back. But
Maeve or Starlight? Oh, Starlight.
Yeah, Maeve. I think Maeve is. I think at this point she just has lost hope.
And
I think she'd be fine with dying.
Yeah, I think she at this point is just like, fuck it, I did something good.
Especially if Elena doesn't come back.
Yeah. Other option, leave him alone. Yes, exactly. Yes, leave.
But I think they're still very much concerned about the state of the world, because he's still very much a threat. So it's one of those things. I think honestly they feel like they can do more good there than away, even if it's damaging or scary for them. They're thinking about the whole world.
Yeah, or maybe like Starlight actually did go back so that she can continue to be an informant. Because then if she didn't, then they wouldn't have anybody, because I don't think Maeve would continue to do it without Starlight there. So like maybe that's why.
All I know is it couldn't be me.
Couldn't be.
My ass would be on the mother. I'd be in fucking island some goddamn where. Being fucking Chile or Argentina.
I'd be somewhere in South America, honestly. Gone
in the motherfucking rainforest, dense as hell.
Like where wouldn't Black Noir be able to find me? That's basically where I want to go.
where would I see Black Noir coming? Would be
well, yeah. That's a better question.
It's got to be an open space.
There's a tree nut forest.
Yeah, tree nut forest. There you go.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Or you stay in an almond joy.
I would go to
factory.
Tuskegee. I would go to Tuskegee. So yeah, I would live in Jiffy,
like
the Jiffy factory. So
they'll cover yourself in Jiffy at all times. Just put it on like
hey, nigga. Hungry? Why wait, nigga?
Oh my god! But no, I do think that Maeve will not make it past next season down the path that she's going.
I do think. I think Ronnie, were you bringing up this point about them like delving into her sexual addiction? Like I think it's gonna be.
And her just depression and addiction, like not just sexual addiction. Yeah.
They're gonna do like a mild version of kind of Herogasm with her, where I think next season they're probably gonna get like the jerking off on the roof was a foreshadowing thing. I think next season they're gonna delve into like the sexual debauchery that superheroes, because they briefly touched on it in the first season.
Yeah, because we got that club scene.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a lot more of that in the coming season.
that club scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also they said the superhero, his name is Love Sausage. They said he is probably coming back.
I think that maybe that may have been like a red herring, like not the real Love Sausage. So they may end up bringing the real Love Sausage. They said that was him. He's not really dead.
They said that was Love Sausage because they didn't really kill him.
I'm just gonna put this out here. I hope they don't do Herogasm and bring him back. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, they can't do Herogasm, period. Like, I think they're going to take elements. There's a scene in Herogasm where there's just a superhero fucking two women in the pool while people are talking behind them. Like, you can't put that on TV.
If it was HBO, probably, but it's
no, they can get away with it on Prime.
Again, they did, like you said at the club, they had a man shrink himself down and literally dive into this woman's vagina. And they had, what was his name? Ezekiel had one person in his lap while he stretched across the room to talk to two other people. And they could. I'm okay with them not doing it, but I wouldn't put it past them.
I think they'll do if they did it still would be a milder version.
I'm okay with the milder version.
Version. From what I'm reading, they're saying that was actually Love Sausage that was in the asylum. And that he might be coming back. I hope Mother's Milk gets his vengeance.
I hope he does too.
Is that young lady escaped the compound being set up to be the next big adjacent bad? I don't know.
I don't think Cindy's going to be a bad. I don't think she's going to be a bad.
I think she's good. I think he's saying adjacent bad. I feel like she's going to be a kind of gray area nemesis for both sides.
Kind of like maybe how Kimiko is in the comics.
Kind of. But I mean, even Kimiko, like, she listens to Frenchie in the comics. I
Kimiko without Frenchie.
Like, I think.
Can you imagine Kimiko if Frenchie died?
Ooh, nah.
Exactly. That sort of thing.
Like, I said this in a previous episode. I feel like they're going to like aim her at what they want her to do. Like, I feel like knowing that she's out there, like, they know that they can't like have her come join the team, but they might like aim her a certain direction and be like, hey, go do this, or hey, or she might just be set up to be like a foil for Vought. She might just be out there to where both sides are chasing after her. Like, it might be that sort of thing where she's just out here wilding.
I really thought she would be the one to take out Stormfront. I really did. But I don't think they're done with her. But I thought like her being the head popper would have been too obvious. And again, she's not in that control of her powers. Who knows? I mean, she might go up against Newman. Who knows? Since they do have very similar powers. So
that would be really weird. It would just be a staring contest, essentially.
Technically, I don't know if she has to look. That's one thing. Because honestly, in my opinion, the way that you can disable Newman is just to blindfold her.
Yeah. But again,
so she's kind of like Cyclops.
Yeah, because she has to. It's shown she has to look at someone.
She has to be able to look at the.
Or if you physically remove her eyes, honestly, a blindfold is too mild for the show. They would physically remove her eyes.
Yeah, and I mean, the other question is that her only power? Like, what else is there?
I'm wondering if it's some kind of telekinetic kind of thing. If she's such a good manipulator that she can do that and it's a power. I wouldn't be surprised either.
I had the same questions about her I had with Cindy. Only we know that eye contact is a prerequisite for Newman. Like I'm still wondering, is this some sort of?
Like it is.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
did she have icon? Well, she did look through the window
at Alistair.
Yeah. To see Alistair. Yeah. Okay.
She had to go to the window to see him. So I think, and like with Cindy, it's different. She like moves mass and matter around people. Like she like crushed it with her hand, like a person with her hand. She didn't just like look at them. She actually had to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You saw her moving her hands. That's right.
And it was their whole body, not just their head.
Yeah, I think Cindy's gonna be an X Factor, but I don't know that she's gonna be like.
But they both have telekinetic powers. But
yeah, I feel like Newman is the next kind of big bad. I feel like they set that up for there to be a confrontation with her next season. Like I feel like the overarching I feel like the main villain they're gonna be after is Soulja Boy. Like I feel like he's the villain.
And she's like a background villain.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be the one like pulling the strings next season.
I wouldn't be mad though if we didn't see Cindy again, because I feel like her purpose was to throw us off of Victoria.
So
I wouldn't be mad if she didn't show up again. Yeah. It's not like they like she was there and then we never heard of her again. But now we see, okay, she was a plot device, which I'm okay with because it worked. Because we were still like, maybe it's Cindy, maybe it's not Cindy, but I never guessed Victoria.
No, I didn't guess her at all. Like I knew Vought was behind it, but I
can't believe I didn't, even though I mentioned her name. I was like, this could be Vic Newman, but Vic Newman didn't do that in the comics.
Right.
So,
he was
so angry because I'm like, why didn't we see it? Because Courtney
that's what I was mad about, because I was like,
I said it. I'm mad at me.
Like, Vic the Veep is a Vought puppet in the comics. Like as soon as she said that, I should have been like, oh, duh.
I think it's thrown off because like they had to kind of update it to make it more relevant. Vic the Veep was an idiot because he was George Bush, but she's more clever because she's basically AOC. So AOC, if you can pop heads, I'm just saying, like just look at Mitch McConnell. That's all I'm saying.
There's also I don't know if any of y'all watch Space Force on Netflix, but there's an AOC parody on there as well.
I've heard that this one is better. Like this AOC is better than that.
Yeah, no. This AOC was only in like a couple episodes, but I think her name was like AYC or something like that.
Okay, so that was like even more.
It was blatantly obvious who this was. Like,
they didn't do the initials. They didn't do the initials with Vic Newman. But
Newman. Yeah, when I saw Newman and Victoria, when you said that, I was like, who? And then you said Vic. I was like, oh fuck.
Because I noticed that. I was like, wait a second, her name's Victoria Newman. Because they called her, I think one person actually called her Vic Newman.
They call her Vic Newman in this episode.
Somebody called her Vic this episode. I think it was Edgar.
It was Edgar that called her Vic.
Edgar called her Vic, yeah.
But, which again should have been an even more obvious thing.
And you know what's something funny? They said every time that she was on TV, Edgar was watching.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was always watching her speak, and it would always be after like something happened. Typically, he'd be like, "Okay, good job."
And her face was the first one we saw after what was it? Raynor's head blew up, and that just
right.
And again, this is all stuff that again shows that Edgar is way more ahead than, because she's probably sending out messages through TV, because it would probably be obvious if she was talking with the head of Vought. So she's probably giving these speeches
and
letting them know coded what they need to be doing and like what's coming next. So like it all makes perfect sense.
It makes sense too, because like there's going to be opposition regardless. Why not have a controlled opposition?
Yeah, and plus another thing that she does is it's almost like projection. What she accuses Vought of doing, that's actually what's being done. So. Right. So
I mean, that's
she's putting the plan out there, like right in your face, and you.
But that's one way to not get accused. That's one way to get
exactly.
Like no one would do that. How? Yeah,
it's hiding in plain sight. She's giving them the game without giving them the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant. Like I said, Stan Edgar, Giancarlo Esposito, like he is that dude. I'm glad he is getting his flowers, and like I said, I can't wait to see him fight with the Darksaber.
A couple weeks. Ooh, it's gonna be so good.
As soon as I saw that Darksaber, I was like, listen.
He's just such a good villain. He's such a good villain, but like that kind of like sinister, like intelligent type villain. Yeah, yes. He's perfect. He's perfect in that. It's like he'd be such a perfect Sith Lord because of that same kind of cunning attitude. So,
all right. So wish list for next season. What you guys got?
And you can't say Huey's death, AJ.
A realistic wish list, because I can't say Huey dead. If I had to go for me, I would probably say Because I feel like my Winter Soldier prediction is out, because I thought that Soldier Boy was going to pop up and be like this actual good hero, but if he's going to be worse than Homelander, then that's obviously not going to happen. I hope we get some more nods to the other superhero teams like Payback.
I have a feeling we will.
I also would like to see kind of them get to the more roots of what the boys were doing, which is like blackmailing and controlling superheroes. We kind of got a glimpse of that with Lamplighter, but I hope that's kind of what they're getting back to. And I also would like to see like them, because in the comics they start taking Compound V to like fight on a level, the same level, but they have to do it repeatedly. I also kind of want to see if like they go that route. But yeah, other than that, like my wish list is short. The only wish list I want is for them to keep the twist intact, and I feel like I will know if the twist is intact within the first few episodes of next season.
Huey's not going to take Compound V. Not this
Watch,
season.
yeah, everyone's going to take
He's
it.
gonna be like, it's unethical.
I bet you that will happen. Everyone will take it. I think Butcher might at first be conflicted because he hates soup so much, but I think like Mother's Milk and and Frenchie will be all on board and convince Butcher. I think Huey would be the last one.
I think
Frenchie probably going to be like,
I think Huey will take it when somebody's life is in danger and he's the only one that can save him.
Probably Starlight.
He'll end up taking it then. I this isn't a wish list, but if they can't kill Huey, never mind. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that, because the thing that happened with him and Black Noir in the comics is too messed up. I don't want to see that.
Don't do that. We don't want that. We don't want that.
All I wanted was to.
I want him to suffer in some form or fashion. I do want that.
Robin's dead. Didn't he suffer enough?
Yeah, I was gonna say he witnessed.
Clearly, he hasn't. He's gotten worse.
I would love to see Annie find someone better for her than Huey. I'm begging. Like, that's like just like the peak of like, why he's so mediocre. Starlight, you could do so much better. Weren't you dating an actor or something? No, but all I wanted was her Super Saiyan moment. With like, can she like be next to an electric power plant? Because I just want to see this Super Saiyan moment. But yeah, I think I'm on the same page. I am hoping to see kind of like more small time soups, because we got kind of hints that existed with like the Teen Titans like illusion with Starlight kind of saying that she was in a Teen Titans type thing with the Christian camp, whatever. And I think we will get more of that. I think that's what next season will be more of, since they have like that little team going on. So I think that would be really interesting to see more smaller soups. So. And Super Saiyan Annie. That's all I want is Super Saiyan Annie.
But yeah, I just want more to really explore this world more and just see more soup teams. So I think we will get that. I think they will fight a lot of like B and C list soups in this season. So yeah, I just hope we get more of that.
Yeah, and get some weird powers. I just want to see some. Yeah. I just want to see some weird shit.
Love sausage.
Was love sausage not enough for you, Courtney?
I just want some weird shit. I just want some weird shit, because like I feel like they can go really weird. They but I think they can go really weird. And you know, it's so funny, if Huey did take Compound V, I can just see him getting the fucking weirdest, most like just like isolated, only useful in some situations power, like, because that's just his luck and his character. Make it funny.
I kind of feel like they're gonna figure out a way to dose it to where it only enhances their strength and they don't get like personalized powers. Like they just kind of get the generic strength and durability type thing.
Like, yeah, that would make sense.
They probably have it by now. If they're selling it at $5, how much? $5 million a pop?
$5 million.
Well, they got it. They pulled it back at the
Yeah, but I'm saying they probably have a version of it that could work in that way.
Chuck says he thinks Huey would take it first and Butcher last. See, I don't know, Chuck. I feel like Huey's
Frenchie's a drug addict.
Frenchie would take it first.
Frenchie would like. I don't even think like you'd have to fully convince Frenchie. Like you just be like
Frenchie would like literally inject it.
He would interrupt you. He would interrupt you and say me first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because Kamiko is on it, right? I mean, well, she's a soup though, technically, right? She doesn't take it religiously.
She was experimenting on. She doesn't have to take it. Like I think in the comics they have to immediately take it in order to get powers.
I think Frenchie's gonna start, and then I think if Frenchie takes it, then Mother's Milk will probably be like, fuck it. Seems like his personality. And then Butcher, like you said, I mean, Butcher probably would be like the most
averse.
The most averse to the most
reluctant.
reluctant.
I think he's the one that like forces Huey to take it at some point.
I wouldn't be surprised. That would work too.
Chuck says, I think he's desperate to be so useful. I think so too. But see, to me, I think Huey is going to be so high up on him having this government job with Vic Newman that he's going to think that he's above taking it. Because to me, that's all that job was. I want to do it, but in the right way.
Why do they even, honestly, at this point, why do they even need Huey?
They don't.
That's what I'm saying. Starlight basically has
why
Huey.
even? Why bring him back? If the boys get back together, why go get Huey?
Because he's Butcher's canary in the coal mine.
I would be fine if
Huey. Okay.
I would be fine if Huey was less involved in what they're doing, but he has some kind of shit going on with Newman.
I think they either use him to like spy on Newman, or they bring him back because Butcher's starting to get unhinged.
And Butcher,
they need him to reel Butcher back in.
And Butcher
Becca's dead, so it's there.
Yeah, Butcher already doesn't trust Newman either, because I think towards the end he said he didn't trust Newman. Mm-hmm. So,
well, to be fair, he don't trust anybody. But
but Mother's Milk. He trusts him.
Yeah, Mother's Milk is definitely the only Mother's Milk and Mallory are the only two people that he trusts.
The only, seriously, two people, and that's them. That's it.
Yeah, so, Huey set up to be an insider now. I think they're either gonna use him to spy on Newman. Like I think Mallory.
I think he's gonna be like a double spy. He's gonna end up doing it for both. Probably. And not intentionally. He's just gonna be so stupid. He's gonna be giving information to Newman.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or I think that he might think that the boys are going out of control and he might volunteer to go back with them to spy, and Butcher might use that to be like, we're going to extract information from your stupid ass. Like I could see him doing some dumb shit like that. Thinking that the boys are too extreme in their methods and that he needs to go in and reel them in. And Newman is like, hey, they're off the books. They're doing too much. I need you to go in and spy on them and give me information. And Butcher and or Mallory has already figured out that there's something off with Newman, and they start deciding to extract information using Huey that way.
That would make a lot of sense.
I could see that happening. But I just want Huey to suffer at some point. Like, can he like lose an arm or like his eyelids, something? Like, I just need like a cracked rib, like have something bad. Like the gash through the stomach clearly was not enough. Like, I just need him to like
did he
suffer.
almost die?
The pinky toe, like, and have a weird walk, like for the rest of his life, like something like that. I just need something like to happen to him that makes him like just more useless than he already is, so he gets less screen time.
I think I'd be fine. Like I said, I would be fine with Starlight completely taking his place. I really would.
The show would be so much better.
Mm-hmm. Like so I said, I'm fine. I'm fine that they're making fleshed out female characters. That's totally fine with me. I'm fine with that.
He needs both arms for the handshake, Famron.
Oh my god, that was funny. That was funny.
See, this is why me and Chuck could not have a podcast together, because we would just escalate trolls on one another. But we've gone an hour and a half, longer than that.
Hey, like, look at the difference between us, the episode 1 and this episode. We spent the whole time talking about the show.
No, really, episode 4 in this episode, because I think episode 4 was the breaking point for everybody.
Yeah, that was the breaking point. So yeah, at least we spent like well over an hour and a half talking about like actual plot points and not trashing the show. So
and talking Game of Thrones.
Way to go.
Not hating Huey.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we still
we don't like Huey, but I like most everybody else. Like I said,
what does your shirt say?
Oh, it just says Mother of Dragons.
I know. I see Mother of Dragons. I just see Hammer, and it's
Hammer Down.
Hammer Down. Yeah.
Legion.
Yeah.
I almost thought it said Hammer Bros, which is a Cool Kids reference, and
But no,
I actually need that shirt. So yeah,
the Cool Kids dropped another album this year.
I did not know.
But in a couple weeks, The Mandalorian drops October 30th, and we'll be on that as well. So
yeah, we got more coming. So
now I gotta find a way. Now I gotta find a way to work a Montrose reference.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes,
no, you don't.
It's just gonna be a whole season of me just like thirsting over Pedro Pascal, being
maybe I knew
the whole suit.
I'll come so I can be the canary in the coal mine.
Oh my god!
To keep us on task.
With that being said,
I will work a Montrose reference into The Mandalorian. Don't you guys?
Oh my god!
With that being said, we are the kids who wear crowns.
Actually,
thanks.
Like Montrose, we here for the Mando.
Oh my god!
We are definitely done. We are definitely done.
Chuck, you get a cup.
Oh yeah, Chuck.
Chuck,
Chuck gets a cup.
you get a
Chuck,
cup.
if you're still with us, DM us your information, and we're gonna send you a cup. Thanks for watching. And
Not this cup. This is my cup. But
yeah,
a
not that cup, but we will
An
send you a
unused
cup.
cup.
So yeah,
cup like
thanks for
this.
watching. Until next
Derrick
time.
Rose in Chicago. 1.